Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Living on Blockchain. Today, we are speaking to Punit. He's the founder and CEO of KoinX. Currently, he's a serial entrepreneur with expertise in fintech and Web3. He's passionate about simplifying crypto adoption and compliance. He's been an active advocate for blockchain innovation and financial inclusion in this space. He was also somebody who, during the COVID time, helped out with the crypto fund, crypto relief fund that was set up by Sandeep from Polygon. So this is a very interesting conversation, and I know I say this about a lot of conversations, but the way Puneet has tried to create an ecosystem around the platform CoinX is very interesting, and at the scale at which these guys are providing these services is commendable. So I can't wait for you guys to hear this. Let's deep dive right in.
Hi, Puneet. Thank you so much for making the time to speak to me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good, Tarusha. Thanks for inviting.
The pleasure is all mine. So, for our listeners, can you tell us a little about yourself, Puneet? How you got into Web3? How you got it with CoinX? I would love to learn a little more about the journey.
Sure. So I got started in Web3, I think back in 2017 days, and have been researching about the technology. I'm an engineer by background, so started working on the technology side of things. Then when I was in college, during those days, so I started exploring this technology, working on the Ethereum code base, and it's primarily an open source. So understanding, the how the entire architecture is built, reading the Ethereum white paper, Ethereum yellow paper, Bitcoin white paper, etc. So that's how I started entering into the space. And the entire while I was reading about it, the entire technology looked very, very interesting, and this looked like very promising. There were not many people around to talk about this technology back then. So, but however, what happened was I was in an internship, in Taiwan, and there I mingled with few professors who were also interested in Bitcoin blockchain and were doing some things around mining. So I came back, wrote a couple of research papers with them, and then got interned into another organization where I contributed on their blockchain architecture. So that's how things started in. And I think back to back, one after the other, there were a lot of opportunities that kept me involved. And since then, I've been full time involved in the crypto space.
Right. So quite an organic journey, like just from your college time, you started reading about it, and that's how you got into Web3. I would love to also know what was that one thing about Web3, and you went through research and you talked to people, but what was that one thing that really attracted you to this particular technology?
Sure. I think the entire part of bringing transparency and trust at the first place was very exciting. So when I was learning and working around there, so I was looking at the supply chain ecosystem. In fact, I was also working on an idea where the patient health records could be on blockchain and they can manage control of the data. They can share it with any doctors that they are going in and revoke access once their visit has been completed. Plus, how do we bring in for example, patients who are admitted in hospitals? How can they ensure that the amount that they're paying to the hospitals is for all the medicines that they have consumed? So all of those kind of things. So my grandmother was in hospital then, so I was looking firsthand in terms of what are the things that can go wrong in the Web2 space. And when I was exploring blockchain, I could see solutions for all those problems here. So I think that's what hooked me to this technology. And as and how I explored more, I kept on looking at variety of use cases that can actually be solved, but the core principle being about trust and transparency.
Right. I think usually those are the two things that really do attract people into this particular space because at its very core, it's supposed to be transparent, it's supposed to be decentralized, and that can be a very big USP as against the status quo. So, can you tell us a little about what inspired you to create a platform like CoinX and what gap were you trying to fill in the market?
Sure. So, previous to CoinX, I was leading the crypto relief fund. If you remember back in 2021 when COVID was
Right.
in its second wave, and Sandeep
Yes.
from Polygon, he started, crypto relief, saying that, this is the fund that is trying to help Indians fight COVID. And this was the fund where Vitalik gave in $1 billion worth Shiba. So my role there was I was CEO of that fund, managing the entire pool that was received. And during that journey, we did did a lot of good things that helped, India fight COVID. Some of the key things are, like 1 in 10 people in India are vaccinated through this fund. So I'm talking about like 165 million people that got benefited out of this, and so and so on. There are like many more achievements there, but happy to maybe we can schedule another one to discuss that. But on the
Yeah.
other, yeah, but on the other, so other learning from me from there was I was involved with a lot of regulators and like people from the compliance industry. So this was an international organization setup. We were contributing foreign donations to NGOs registered in India, and the quantum of fund was really high. And hence, I was dealing with the, like some of the big fours from the industry, their global blockchain teams, some of the regulators here in India, and like our entity is also based in UAE, so regulators they. And having discussed with a variety of people from different geographies, what made me, I built a conviction during that period is blockchain and the crypto industry wouldn't, like if you're looking at onboarding the next million population, onboarding the next, like 10 million population, onboarding the next 100 million population onto crypto, it wouldn't happen without regulation and compliance. So all these years, I was, like bit fanatic about the technology. Care, it's everything is decentralized, like people will have control. But speaking to these guys made me realize while this sounds fanatic, but this might, this will have a lot of consequences associated with it, and that's not how large population is, like is nurtured, at least for the next few years. So the transition phase from Web 2 to Web 3 will happen with regulation and compliance. And I started looking more about the compliance side of things. So that's where, like when I was researching around compliance, about 15 odd countries had taxed cryptocurrencies already, and India was, becoming the 16th country which was taxing crypto. So I started looking into the taxation space, realized, like it's completely mayhem for one to calculate their own taxes and report it, not just in India, but anywhere across the world. And, I spoke to my regulator friends, hey, how do you help your clients, like manage all of their compliance with respect to taxation? Realize that they are using approximation and estimation methods, and there's no accurate mechanism to calculate the taxes. Plus, it's very painful to do it manually. I think that was the reason I saw a business opportunity there, and also saw, like firstly, back in 2021, 22 days, like crypto was already, like a lot of there were a lot of negative sides from the government related to that, related to the entire crypto side, which included, like ban in 2018 and then uplift of ban in 2020. And, so that was one angle. And the reason of taxing cryptocurrencies was to see whether this industry even generates a substantial revenue for it to be put into an interest and to think about it. So idea was, if people are not even able to report their income, even if they want to, the government will not generate large revenue from this space, and it may lead to consequences, right? Like this space has 10 problems and we're not even getting anything out of it. Why not just blanket ban it? So that was I think these two triggers, A, the business opportunity part, B, the larger cause, was something that triggered me to build KoinX. And the idea is simple. We basically help any retail investor situated in any part of the world to seamlessly calculate their entire capital gains or their taxes from crypto, and then report it accordingly in their geography. So that's largely the product that we have built in for the retail user.
And this is primarily for Indian users.
No, we started with India. Today we are live in about 100 countries, and
Awesome.
people anywhere across the world can use KoinX, and they will get customized reports for each of this geography. Now, what do I mean by this is, so law of crypto, taxing crypto is very different in each of this geography. So for example, if you are an US listener and you, are investing into crypto, you can just use KoinX to, like get the reports, and these reports will be as per the local US laws. You would get exactly the forms that are required to file your returns in US, versus someone in UK, they will get again, like a customized report based on UK laws, and someone in India would receive the reports as per the Indian laws. So we support 100 such countries and people anywhere across the world can just seamlessly, like download their entire tax data from Coin.
That's brilliant. So, it's just adding more ease into people's lives. And I think that is very, very important if they're going to get into a space that they might not perhaps fully understand.
Absolutely. And it's difficult to keep a track of, like the changing
Yeah.
laws and the variety of transactions have different taxation treatments. For example, staking has a different taxation treatment, airdrop has a different one. Normal spot market transactions have different futures and margins have another, there's other way of treating them. So it becomes difficult for an individual to keep on tracking, like all these types and then understanding what is the taxation under each of this type and then report it, make it into a custom format which the government asks for. So this becomes like completely mayhem. And I go to an extent saying if you have crypto to crypto transactions, it becomes almost impossible to do it on your own after a point.
Right. Yeah, way too many transactions, lots of confusion, I think. Absolutely true. Because there is a lot of vagueness when it comes to the laws in certain places. And moreover, I think, not majority of us wouldn't be filing our own taxes any which way. So, doing that for just crypto is like a very tedious task. It sounds very tedious to sort of execute. So might as well have the expert do it.
Right, absolutely.
So how does it really work? Like, are you deploying teams in different countries? Are you using AI? Is there an algorithm at play? How does it really work? And what makes your platform very unique as compared to say other platforms that are for tax compliance?
Sure. So there are two, three parts of this question. I'll take one by one each of them. So how it works for users is, like we support about 150 plus exchanges on our platform, about 100 plus chains, 80 plus wallets. So all now what this means for an individual investor who is investing in crypto is basically, let's say you might be having your transactions on Binance, MetaMask. So you can just simply connect both your Binance account and the MetaMask account on CoinX. And when I say connect, this can again happen via APIs or it can happen via you downloading the trade report from your Binance and just uploading it on CoinX. And for blockchain related transactions, you just have to paste your address, the receiving address, of a particular chain. So that's how simple it is to connect any platform where you have transactions on CoinX. This entire step hardly takes in few, like seconds. In fact, most of our users, once they've connected, their entire data gets populated within 5 seconds. So this is where all your transactions from the start gets populated on CoinX. We process all of it, like help you get a gist of all your transactions, all your portfolio, what was your buy price, what is your sale price, what is the profit on each and every transaction. All of those insights users can get without even, like even subscribing to the platform yet. So once they've taken a look at all of this data, then they can just make a payment to download the reports, and these reports will be delivered to their email, which they can use to file returns. So this is largely how it works, and there is an AI play to this because like once you're uploading the transactions, the platform automatically understands whether the transaction is a spot market, whether the transaction is in like futures, options, whether it's a funding interest for futures, whether it's a repayment that you're doing in for your margin, whether it's a staking reward that you have received, whether it's a staking interest that you have received. So there are 190 plus types of transactions that automatically gets categorized on CoinX, and like you just so basically everything is ready for you. So once you all you have to do is just plug and play, upload your data, and within seconds everything is done. All your portfolio is fetched, and yep, you can just simply download the reports and file it, in your respective geography. So this is largely how it works for an individual. Now for us as a company, like we have teams across the globe. We have teams set up now in Canada, which are looking at our Northern America and Canada, largely, like the entire Northern America continent. And we also have teams set up in UAE, which is looking at, like the MENA region primarily. And we here from India are looking at our South Asia based expansions. So that's largely how we have positioned the teams today, and it's growing in aggressively. We are, like onboarding teams across the globe to help us penetrate into more geographies. That's it. We have partnered with a lot of exchanges. So, for example, BitGet is one of the, like among top 10 exchanges in the world based on their coin market cap ranking. So we are, official tax partners of BitGet. Now, what this means is any BitGet user user can simply go to Tax API, which is a button inside your app, and there you will be able to generate the API. And KoinX is the official partner where you can just put the API to fetch your transactions. So, like KoinX is positioned inside the BitGet application, and very soon we are announcing many more exchanges. So, idea is by in next couple of months, among like 5 out of top 10 exchanges globally would be like partnering in with KoinX and then putting KoinX inside their application for all their users. So this is largely how we also acquire a lot of our users and help them with like calculating their taxes.
Right. So, you're you guys are growing horizontally as well as vertically with different geographies as well as partnering with different exchanges. I think that is a wonderful way to sort of expand. Can you elaborate a little bit more about your team? How big is the team currently, and all are you guys situated? Do you have physical offices? Where are you working?
Sure. Today, I think KoinX is about 40 people. And as I mentioned, like we have team both locally here in India and globally. So majority of the team members are here in India, and it's a remote setup. So people are working in from home. So they're spread across the entire subcontinent and, are living in multiple places. We do also have an office in the eastern part of India where it's kind of a founder's office where primarily I spend most of the time. And yep, largely apart from the Indian team, there are now team in UAE and Canada. So again, they are working in from there and then largely helping us with our global expansion and product.
Awesome. So now that we've talked a little about what KoinX does and about the team, can you tell us a little about what is the next big milestone that you're looking forward to when it comes to KoinX?
Sure. So I think B2C, we are killing it, and there are like lots of users, more than 500,000 users already onboarded onto the platform, and like they are using KoinX for their taxes. The idea now is we have also come up with our enterprise version. This enterprise product is largely that helps like companies dealing in crypto to be able to account for all their transactions and be on top of their finances. So this is this could be these set of companies could be the funds that are investing in crypto, be any DApp or project which is like paying salaries in crypto or receiving their revenues in crypto or receiving investments in crypto. So largely any company that has crypto on their balance sheet, could be a consulting agency, could be like an NFT protocol, could be a marketplace, could be a foundation of a protocol, could basically be anyone that has crypto on balance sheet. So they we built an entire accounting and bookkeeping software which is like QuickBooks for crypto, where you can completely automate your entire accounting for your business and be on top of your complete finances, understand where your profits are, where your losses are, where your largely expenses are, like track your invoices, manage all your vendors. So all of it at one place. So this is largely the product that we have built, and we are onboarding our customers onto this. So I think the next big thing for us is to scale this and like be the de facto crypto accounting platform globally, for companies that are building in this space.
That sounds wonderful. That's a wonderful way to put it. We are QuickBooks for any company that has crypto on its balance sheet. So I think that is a great way for you guys to expand your services from B2C to B2B. But that is in itself quite a leap, wouldn't you say? Like usually consumer-driven products, they try to stick to their niche, and companies catering to B2B or B2G perhaps they stick to the niche that they are working on. What made you feel that it's the right time for you guys to make this leap and move or spread across B2B and B2C?
Sure. I think for us, largely, like the infrastructure. So basically, like, let's say if a retail investor has a transactions on Binance, MetaMask, and let's say on Arbitrum chain, the same is the layer for companies dealing in crypto. So the entire infrastructure that we built to get the transactions, categorize them, track it, and understand things is largely the same for both of these sides. Plus, when we are doing taxation, we are already doing an accounting, because like once I've accounted for all your transactions, only then I would be able to understand like what profits, what losses you made, and accordingly give you your tax statements done. So large part of it was already being done. We just had to work around in terms of like giving businesses complete flexibility in terms of how do they want to account for these transactions, and like this involved creating the product ground up, understanding the entire US GAAP standard standards, the double accounting methods. So a lot of this. But then for us, it was a natural, extension at KoinX. A lot of founders that came in to use our B2C product wanted us to also solve this for their company. So that's how naturally the demand came in, and then we started picking on that and just launched this as well. And we're seeing a good traction. In fact, our B2C is also largely kind of scaled, and we have a lot of users coming in on a daily basis on the platform, a lot of partnerships with exchanges. So that has pretty much scaled in now, and it was a time to look at something else. So for the last 2 years we have been building the B2C and scaling that up, and for the last 6 months we primarily spend a lot of time in the accounting.
Right. I think, this is what I wanted you to say when I asked you this, that pretty much the infrastructure that is created for the users, because the layers that are being used for these transactions are the same, whether it is consumer or enterprise. So it is a very natural progression for you guys to move in that direction. And that is sensible. At times, entrepreneurs will move in way too many directions at the same time, and they kind of break what they already have as well. So that is not the case with you, because the same logistics that are perhaps being utilized for you to provide service to the consumer are pretty much alike and akin to what you would do perhaps with enterprises.
Absolutely.
So because you're dealing with these financial transactions and the data, how do you ensure that there is security of data, and there is a certain amount of accuracy there as well, and it is maintained for the user, because you are integrating with multiple exchanges and wallets. So how does that work?
So we take security very seriously, and from the very start of writing the first set of codes at KoinX. So, and I can just brag about it, or just say that, hey, KoinX systems are secure, but users would take it with a pinch of salt. So what we have done is we are not just we just don't say that we are secure. In fact, there are for IT companies or for software based companies internationally, there are two certifications which are done by an external organization. They come, they audit the entire system, they look at all the details. In fact, to get one of these certifications, it requires to pass at least 1900 check to be able to get this certification. And these certificates are like ISO 27001 and SOC 2. So KoinX, I'm happy to share, is both ISO 27001 and SOC 2 certified. So this means that we have passed all of these 1900 plus checks. There are external auditors that have reviewed our systems, policies, procedures, management, related to security and compliance side of things, and they have tested it and then validated and given us the certification. So this speaks our commitment towards making the platform more secure, and then bringing KoinX to an international standard of security which is widely accepted in the ecosystem. Plus, whenever we partner with an exchange, they have their own vendor onboarding checklist, since a lot of transactions would be transferred into KoinX, and we have already partnered with some of the biggest exchanges in the world. So not only just by external auditors, but also by the external exchange team members have also vetted and validated the systems now. So this is part A. Part B is this is the entire certification part is an annual effort, but within the year we constantly keep on engaging with pen testers to ensure that our systems are not vulnerable, and if any, we immediately act on it and then fix it down. So these are some of the activities that we keep on taking in internally at KoinX to ensure that our systems are secure. When it comes to accuracy, our systems are again back tested and validated. The reports that we generate before even we go live for any country is validated by a local professional there. So KoinX has an international taxation team. These are team again from ex employees of Big Fours of the world, and they put in a sample data, check the output, validate that the numbers are working, and we also invite external teams to come and check the data and validate whether the outputs are running in fine. So to ensure basically the accuracy of the system. So KoinX, in fact, are the reports that we generate and have also stood out in terms of when a lot of users get in scrutinies from income tax departments, etc. So these reports also stood in there, wherein when people submitted these reports there, the department basically accepted the numbers that were there. So that speaks about the accuracy and the results that we provide in KoinX. So I hope that gave you
Yeah.
some insight around the security and the accuracy part.
Absolutely. I think that gives our listeners a good idea about how seriously you take security and accuracy when it comes to this data that you're dealing with. Now, I want to ask something that is more on the macro side of things because, the taxation arena, so to say, is very dynamic and it keeps changing. But what are the kind of trends that you foresee in crypto taxation as governments worldwide are kind of scrambling to legitimize this space a bit more?
Sure. So a lot of these governments or a lot of governments are looking crypto from an asset point of view and are introducing in capital gains on it. So I'd see this as a standard across like most of the countries where they tax crypto as part of like something like you're investing in stock, and if you're generating returns out of it, you pay capital gains on it. So largely this is one common trend. Second, a lot of countries have come up with taxation framework, but like the crypto space is a bit complex as there is DeFi, there it is NFT, people are using crypto to make payments, and like there is the entire exchange market, which is spot, futures, options. So there is no one rule that can help categorize the entire ecosystem of crypto. So what I'm seeing is countries are like evolving their entire taxation framework and trying to bring different set of like guidelines related to different types of transactions. So for example, staking interest or an airdrop could be another income, but investments that you're making in crypto and then further selling it, booking profits could be capital gains, and your investments from stock market, from derivatives, options, margins could be like a speculation income. So like there are countries which are bringing in clarity in terms of how do you deal with different types of transactions in crypto and how do you basically tax it accordingly. So this is another trend that I'm seeing in, and yeah, I think in most of the countries it is at par with their existing capital gains for stock market, and for any transactions that's happening in the other income or people who are receiving salaries, it is at par with the salary structure in their country. So I think these are the top 3 4 trends that I'm looking at when I'm looking at like different countries that are researching in crypto, the or that are taxing in crypto, sorry. And the tax percentage varies a lot from country to country, but I think it's standard. That's how exactly also like for example, UAE is a tax free country, but India tax crypto or any gains, any income, not just crypto. US does also tax any other income. Germany tax heavily on income. So I think that has been standard there for years. So the similar trend is expected in crypto, that different countries will be having different percentages of taxation, but largely these are the trends when we look at crypto taxation.
Right. Yeah, I think I completely agree with you there. There are certain common threads that kind of run parallel, no matter which country we are speaking about. Because you've been doing this for a while, can you tell us a little about the kind of perhaps misconceptions that users might have vis-a-vis crypto taxation that you've come across?
Yep, there's a list of misconceptions. I would go ahead with some of the important ones. The first, a lot of people assume that like if I'm doing a crypto to crypto transaction, that event is not taxable. I would only have to pay taxes once I'm withdrawing the funds to my bank account or doing a fiat trade. That is not the case. Crypto to crypto transaction is a taxable event, and this is standard across most of the countries. So this is very important part where a lot of people miss, and they think that, hey, I haven't converted it yet into my bank account, I haven't booked the profits yet. So that's not the case. When you're doing a crypto to crypto transaction, you're technically doing two transactions wherein you're selling your coin and then reinvesting that coin to buy another coin. So whenever you're doing a crypto to crypto, you're already booking profit, and all the returns that you've generated is being reinvested into the space. So that is one. Second, a lot of people again assume misconceptions again can be like localized to each country. For example, here in India, people believe that they do not have to declare their crypto if it's if it's on a decentralized wallet. And this is also a common trend across the world, where people think that they only have to pay taxes on their centralized exchange transactions, not the decentralized ones. Again, not the case. Any crypto that you hold, could be in any platform, is liable to pay taxes. So that is the other part of it. Third part is like a lot of people again doing P2P sort of transactions, and like just buying and selling it off, doing high frequency trades. Even they might assume in that, like this does not fall in under the crypto ambit. I'm doing a high frequency trade, so I'll be just declaring it as per my stocks. So even that doesn't work that way. Like anything that has to deal with crypto, even the USDT coins. So a lot of people think that USDT, they are dollars. It's like dollars. It's not. USDT is a crypto, and even USDT trades are at par with the crypto. Like the way with crypto deals. So I think
Like,
these are
yeah,
some of
I
the
think,
important ones. Yeah.
I think especially the one with where the USDT aspect and crypto to crypto transactions, I think those are a few that I've heard a lot as well, and I've seen people sort of act accordingly. So it's good for you to like dispel those misconceptions. Now I want to like touch a little upon the kind of hurdles that you faced while scaling CoinX, because I'm sure that there were many, and because you are in a very compliance heavy ecosystem, so to say, because the compliance keeps changing and it can be very tedious. Then also, moreover, there is a certain dynamism to it. Plus the fact that you are a platform that is actually helping users be compliant. There must have been many hurdles while you were creating and launching CoinX and then scaling it. So I would love to talk a little about that. I want you to shed a little light on those challenges and how did you sort of overcome them. Perhaps entrepreneurs who are building in the payment spaces can take some inspiration from your answer.
Sure, I think the largest challenge was, or challenge or opportunity, either way, is the business that we are in is an ops heavy business. When I say ops heavy, we do not have to go lift things and then put it out as logistic companies out, but it's a data ops heavy business. Now, what do I mean by this is every day we see a new type of coin, we see a new type of transaction, new product that exists in the crypto space, and we have to build the system. It cannot be that, hey, I've built CoinX today and I'll just stop the development and use the software for next 5 years. Won't work that way. Every day we have to keep on updating our systems to be able to, track and automatically categorize the new types of transactions that are existing in the space, the new wallets where people have transactions, the new exchanges where people are going and transacting on, the like new product within an exchange that people are utilizing. For example, an exchange might have just started with spot and futures, but later on added like systematic investment plans, or added like some quests, some campaigns, some other products. So we have to go and encompass all of these types of products that an exchange is building, plus all the types of products that the industry is building overall. So that is a data op heavy business. And so that is on the industry side. On the regulation side, countries are coming up with regulations. So more and more countries are coming up with taxation frameworks. Existing countries which have already taxed crypto, they are updating their laws. So constantly, and we are live in 100 countries. It's not about just 2-3 countries that we have to keep a track on, but rather 100 countries that we have to track on a daily basis to understand what's happening where and what's changing where, which is again an ops heavy. And we do have a dedicated team just to do this. So I think, yeah, these are largely the challenges running a business like us. And then
Hmm.
the way that we solved it is, it's simple. Having research teams in house, having like dedicated teams that just keep on researching about the new products, having a strong relation with exchanges, so that before even launching the product, in fact, with a lot of exchanges, even before the product is launched, we are already updated with the taxation framework for those. So when they are testing it beta, we are also working with them to test the taxation frameworks out. So a lot of these type of things happen, and I think it's all about building that relation and building a credible team that can help you achieve this.
Right. This is wonderful to hear. I think it's as you mentioned, this is something that is ops heavy, but obviously it comes down to how you're scaling and how you are really putting in the management play. So this is wonderful to know, and what you're doing is fabulous. But now I want to perhaps again look at the market a little bit and ask you something that is more on the macro side. With the advent of AI, we've kind of talked a little about how you guys are already utilizing AI in your processes. But I think from a perhaps just somebody who's been around in this space for some time, how do you see see AI really changing the way Web3 ecosystem kind of functions? What kind of startups come out of it? And also, how do you think it would have an impact on compliance and taxation? Your personal take here, I would love to understand.
Sure. So, I think AI has an important role to play in overall the Web3 ambit. And Web3, like technically is not just about blockchain and crypto. It involves AI, it involves Internet of Things, it involves, like AR, VR, augmented reality, mixed reality, like together, all of it would contribute in towards what we call Web3. So, AI has a very important role to play because the way I look at things is blockchain acts in as the secure database, for holding the data, but able to be able to get insights out of that data to be able to, like better utilize the data. You need intelligence. So that is where anything that has to do with, like data which is on blockchain and then getting insights out of it, getting, like understanding patterns, understanding trends, understanding, like how people are dealing with that data. So all of it is all of these use cases is where like AI has to basically there will be a great AI play. And when it comes to regulation and compliance, even we have like a lot of data at KoinX because these are like like users are transacting day in day out. In fact, in last year we have processed about I think more than 350 million transactions. So like understanding in those, then being able to create insights out of it and helping users understand like a lot of their insights on their portfolio is an interesting aspect. And like that gives users a very insightful information in terms of how do they want to deal with their entire set of transactions, what are the things that they can make better, and what are the things that can help them like maximize their profits or minimize their losses.
Right. I think I've recently talked to quite a few founders and who've talked about how AI can be really helpful with trading. Is there anything that you are looking to perhaps build with AI in the future? Does this technology excite you enough to perhaps take that leap?
Build AI is a far, like far stretch, but we might
Hmm.
definitely, and we are already using AI to,
Yeah.
like you at KoinX to basically like like get a lot of insights and automate a lot of the categorization of transactions and
Right.
giving our users. So later on, we do have plans of giving actionable insights to users. So a lot of AI play would happen there, but building an AI is far fetched.
Not building an AI. I meant more on the lines of building with AI and something separate from
Oh yeah,
CoinX.
got it.
That is what.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
definitely.
is
We
what
are
I meant.
already doing it and will continue doing it. In fact, for example, so I'll give you certain things where we use AI. We have built a chatbot, which is trained for more than 80 countries now. And when I say trained for more than 80 countries, we're basically trained that bot for taxation framework in more than 80 countries. So all you can do is just go chat with it in any language. Could be a regional language of India, could be Spanish, could be German, could be English, any language. Just how do you chat with your lawyer or your accountant? You can just chat with it in the very same fashion. You can just talk about your trades. You can ask what like I received an $100 or $1,000 airdrop of Arbitrum. How would I tax it? Anything. You can just go chat with it, and the bot gives you answers, helping you understand your case and as per your local laws. So you can say to the bot that I have received a drop of $1,000 of Arbitrum. I'm living in India. How do I tax it here? And you will receive precise information which you're looking in for from the bot.
Awesome. So you're already utilizing AI within the CoinX ecosystem, and I think more power to you guys with what you've done and what you're planning to do. Now, because we are really running short on time, I would love to ask you two more questions before we wrap this up. Love to get perhaps your advice for builders in this space, folks who are already building. What would be your 2 cents for them building in the current market where Bitcoin is going from, it has reached that milestone of 100K and it keeps going back and forth. But there is a lot of excitement in the market. What will be your advice to these entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So based on the past experience, what I see is when like the bull run comes in, a lot of people want to enter in the space and they start building an like Web3 version of any and every Web2 application. So I would recommend or I would advise builders not to please do that. Like not every Web2 application has to be Web3ized. Like there are look for real problems, look for like real use cases, and build solutions accordingly. KoinX, we haven't yet put KoinX on a Web3 system. It's a complete Web2 SaaS catering to the Web3 industry. So it is not required that everything has to be on blockchain. That's not what the industry wants. The industry wants the problems to be solved in a better way. And like, so please research about what you're building and who your users are. Speak to them, understand their pain problem, and make it in a way which like if you're building a consumer application which helps onboard Web3 users or Web2 users on Web3, please make the experience very seamless for them without them having to go through all the hassle.
I think that's very good advice. Don't blindly follow trends and then build for the user so that they don't have to really cross a lot of hoops before they can actually use your product. Like I said, and I'll stay true to my promise that this is the last question that I'll ask you. But this is something that I ask everybody who comes on the show. You are obviously someone who organically moved towards Web3. But if you had to say, perhaps give advice to somebody who is still agonizing over whether this is their really legitimate space, just diving into the Web3 ecosystem, what would be your advice to folks like that so that they can truly start living on blockchain?
Oh, sure. I think that depends on a lot of factors, but some
Yeah.
of the important key motivation factors for someone could be money. So one is you potentially can make a lot of better money, not just by investing in crypto, but also by like working with Web3 companies. B, exposure. The level of exposure that crypto companies or the entire Web3 ecosystem gives you is like incomparable with any other industry. I've been on the Web2 side, I've been on the Web3 side. Web2 is pretty cluttered, but in Web3 you can literally like see Vitalik, who is founder of Ethereum, just walking next to you without even like a guardrail or a bodyguards kind of a system. So Web3 is very open. Web3 founders are very open, and Web3 as a space gives you a lot of exposure. So first motivation being money, second being exposure, third giving you opportunities to travel a lot, because Web3 is largely like happening in almost large markets across the world, and you get to meet diverse people across, whether you're attending a conference here in Bangalore or you're attending a conference like in the Davos or in Thailand or in Singapore or in UAE. Basically every way that you go, you would find people across the geography, so you would be able to get a global exposure on what's happening in the space. So yeah, I think largely these were like largely these are the three motivations that I see personally. If I'm looking to understand a new space or get into a new space, I would look for these things primarily. And yeah, I believe this might be motivating for people who are looking to enter in the space.
Awesome. As good a way to end this episode as any. So thank you so much, Puneet, once again for being on the show. Any parting words before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think for people who are like looking to enter into the space from investment point of view or from making money point of view, please do understand that you might have heard stories of people investing in crypto and the next day they have a Lamborghini standing right in front of their house. This is not the case. Crypto will not make you like don't enter into the crypto ecosystem with an expectation that that I just want to make a quick money and then leave this. Rather, build conviction, research on what you're investing, check the fundamentals right, and then stay long, like invest in for long. So that would be my advice for people who are looking at investing in crypto.
I think that's wonderful advice. Thank you so much once again, Puneet, for making the time to speak to me today. This has been a really wonderful.
Thanks, Sarusha.